Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Late Night with the Devil, starring, and let me see if I say this name right, David Dasmalchian. I don't know if I got that right, please forgive me. Laura Gordon and Ian Bliss, directed by Cameron and Colin Cairns. Now, before I get into this, I was supposed to get this delivered by the night of Halloween, and I ended up missing out. I'm 3 days late. Sorry about that. So, and I heard this one's supposed to be really scary. And how scary is it? Well, I haven't even seen this movie to figure that out because I didn't go to theaters for this thing. But I'm watching it twice for this review. So let's get straight into the movie. After all the endless movie logos, we start in the year 1971, getting to know Jack Delroy, played by David Dasmalchian, in a brief prologue and his late night talk show host show Night Owls. And his ratings are not as high as the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, as he wants to be the number one on top of national television, as he marries his wife Madeline Piper, who's an actress, and she eventually dies from lung cancer, which pretty sad, without ever smoking 2 weeks before she even ends up dying, which even more sad. And Jack disappears, and he will make one last appearance on Halloween night in the year 1977. And this prologue explains so much detail it will make sense why later in the movie. On Halloween night in the year 1977, we get to a late night Halloween show as it starts with Jack scaring the bejesus out of his sidekick Gus McConnell, and it goes off smoothly thus far as he monologues before sending out his first guest, who's a psychic named Christo, and he hears the name Peterman and it's one of the audience in the show, and that made me think of this guy is a fucking fraud, and coming up with a couple of ladies about a dead brother named Edmund as they communicate with him, and it makes the ladies cry, and that was a very effective scene. They're about to go on a brief break by the name of Minnie, and as Christo hears the name Minnie, and he sees so much sadness and it ran away, and I'm thinking, is it Lily? Because we'll meet a Lily later in the movie, and we go on a brief break as it goes in black and white, and that was a smart choice to tell the audience when it's on the show versus which is color, and the break scenes which are in black and white. And I really like the differences as we go back on live television with Jack Christo and a skeptical former magician, Carmichael the Conjurer. And so far, I don't like Christo, as this guy is a goddamn fraud, and Carmichael comes off like a pretentious ass, while he calls Christo a liar, and he runs out, and Jack confesses Minnie was Madeline, as Christo vomits some kind of black blood on live television, which is super fucking freaky in my opinion. Christo is taken to the hospital while on a commercial break, and Jack is afraid of his show being canceled, which is getting there. And we get back to the show with Jack and Carmichael as he uses his magic trick, and we get to their next guest as she wrote a book called Conversations with the Devil, named Dr. June Ross Mitchell, and her subject Lily, who's obsessed with Jack as a TV host. And she has watched this show previously, and this is where the movie starts to freak me out, as I got the impression Lily is the demon taking over her body, and the performances are very good in this movie. We get to another commercial break, and June tells Jack she doesn't want Lily to be on national television because she's becoming so unpredictable. And Jack continues the show, and we learn Christo is dead. And Carmichael asks the two ladies Christo asks at one point earlier some questions, and we get back live, and Jack asks June's questions with Carmichael constantly interrupting and continues mocking June and Lily, and spooky music comes on, and Gus tries to turn it off while the devil breaks some shit, which was horrifying. Lily and the audience want a demonstration of what June does with Lily and goes on a commercial break, and people try to contact Jack and Gus, warning him about it. And Jack is trying to save the show, and we get back to the show with June demonstrating Lily's demon while trying to keep the audience remain calm. And the demon tells Jack it's nice to see him again as they met on the treetops, and the demon torments Jack and June pulls out a cross and asks Jack how could he let it happen, and the chair gets up and haunts the audience, and Lily becomes normal again and go on another commercial, which was which is a very terrifying scene. June is getting worried about Lily, and Leo has harsh words with Gus. While it's not about the ratings anymore, and they continue the show, and when we get back on, Carmichael mocks June and Lily and makes fun of them both as June is insulted while Jack explains what Carmichael is while he borrows Gus for a stunt, where the audience and Jack are seeing Carmichael making Gus a dancing monkey, while worms are coming out of Gus's stomach, and he eventually awakens, which is scary as hell. The audience barely clapped for Carmichael's trick after it's over, and they see the video of what Carmichael wanted the audience to see when we saw the worms, and he made everyone a fool. And June wants to stop the show and leave as Lily wants to show the audience the truth of, and we see the video of Lily turning into the demon and pauses an image and go very slowly, and they didn't see anything, as this whole thing is a setup, which is what Carmichael says to Jack and Lily, becoming the demon once again, and destroys the show and scares the hell out of the audience, killing Gus, everyone in the studio, and melts Carmichael. And Jack gets away, and the show stops being alive, and we get a brief glimpse of the fucking devil, which scared the fucking shit out of me. As Jack flashbacks to people laughing at him while he's acting strange, and he goes back to the caveman show, which was shown in the beginning of the movie, as he walks off set and even further to a snake-looking thing, and we go back to the show with Madeline before she died, and we get to the spinning wheel that was shown in the beginning of the movie as well, and Jack tells the audience to turn off their TV sets to when he gets hired in television business, and we get back in costumes, saying, "Great show tonight, Jack," and someone in an owl mask approaches Jack, and I thought, is that an owl? As that makes him drink blood, and I believe is what that was, and sees Madeline before she dies, and Jack cries about it, and it shows Jack killed Lily as the movie ends, which is a sick, fucked up way to end the movie, and the climax was scary as hell. I'll give this movie a 8.3 out of 10. When we get to the end and connect the dots of the first 10-minute prologue perfectly, as the ending freaked me out. Like, how in the fuck did he go back to the earlier days? And I only really like the 3 characters in this movie, as there's not very many here. Jack, June Ross, and Lily, and the other ones can go fuck themselves, as the movie is super fucking freaky. I do think the movie has made a smart choice as far as which part was color versus black and white, as the live television series are color, and when we take breaks, it's black and white, and that was a genius idea from the directors that are the Cairns brothers. And they did a fantastic job at not only scaring me, but making sense of it, and the performances are very good in this movie from start to finish. The movie is scary with the ending that was a total what the fuck, but at the same time, it connects the dots, which makes perfect sense at the end of the day. And this is a solid recommendation, as this movie is scary as hell. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and until next year, I guess happy belated Halloween, can I say?